Damn it! I'm gonna have to listen to an episode of Podshock on my own time so I can write this down again. Well, I can't remember what it is.
Good luck finding that.
Yeah, really.
You're listening to a mostly harmless cutaway.
Mostly harmless. Mostly harmless? Oh, come. I think that's pretty good coverage for a disintegrated pile of rubble.
Can you find it?
Yeah, old episodes? Yeah, of course. I don't know. But at one point we were going to collab and do like a 2-person thing. When he had like 4 different things going and he was going to do like a 5th. Back in like circa 2010.
Yeah, but then, well, first of all, he hasn't had an episode of Podshock up since December of 2015. That was the last thing.
Oh, wow.
But he had the Sonic News Driver going on. He had
Yeah, I guessed it on there like once or twice.
Yeah, Ken and James had their own podcast going for a little while.
Yeah, and then he basically replaced them with the Cultum guys.
Oh yeah.
Was that Doctor Who, an occasional podcast? Ken Deep and someone else?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, I remember listening to that a little bit.
Pretty semi-occasional.
Yeah.
lived up to its moniker.
What's the one that Steve and Erika do?
Lazy
Doctor Who.
Yeah. I listened to a little bit of that.
But we should just republish our stuff on an alternate feed that's called the Not Doctor Who podcast and just literally repost anything we talk about that has nothing to do with Doctor Who. And it might rise up in the Doctor Who charts.
I mean, you just ranting about the Doctor Who, and I was going off about how much I never really cared for New Who, and you were like, I don't understand this. I think that's the closest thing we've done to like a full Doctor Who episode.
Oh, really? I would have thought we'd done more, but I don't know. Well, Sean's beaten it into me in the last couple of years that we're not supposed to talk about Doctor Who. Like when we're talking about other things.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do on these little,
The only one who still has a Doctor Who podcast that he's on.
I don't even think that one. It's just, Doctor Who gives a fuck. That no work whatsoever has gone into that.
Fitting title. Yeah.
JB does all that, and we recorded last night about Eve of the Daleks. By the way, have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the new one?
Yeah, kind of. I can. Yeah,
I saw it. I already know what Caleb thinks. I liked it a little bit more than him. Well, liked with an asterisk.
Yeah, I'm probably kind of somewhere in between you guys.
The way I judge the Chibnall episodes in general is if it doesn't really offend me, and I don't mean offend like in a like a political social kind of way. I mean offend me as in, is this a worthy product is what I mean by offense. As long as it doesn't offend me, then I feel like Chibnall's done his job. So for me, E falls into that category of I'm not offended. And just like that Cyberman episode he did in the previous, the one that everyone liked, that was in my did not offend me category. So therefore, default, it wins because it didn't offend me. So, yeah.
The Frankenstein one? Haunting of...
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and as a standalone episode, I thought it was okay. It was just as a follow-up to Flux. It was just completely, didn't give me anything I was looking for. I was like, wow. I feel like from the start of Flux, there's been no character progression. A whole season and a special. No movement whatsoever. Pretty shocking work on his part, but... not that I even care. I wish I'd go back to Classic Who where they didn't bother, but...
No, with the history of specials that we had in the new series, I'm okay. I'm okay if they... sidestep out of the lore, or if they continue. Either way, I feel like you don't have to. If you don't want to. But my further thoughts on the story are: it's okay as it is, and you already know how it's going to work out. I mean, not how they're going to solve it, but you know where we're going to be at the end of it. Like those two are going to find each other or something because they never noticed each other. But then my bigger overall thought is just how budget-minded that story is. I mean, literally, you just need to get some high-def cameras, a limited crew, and hey, guys, let's go hang out in a storage facility for a weekend, and you can just take care of all of it. And because it's of the groundhog nature, it makes it even easier because then you can just film multiple scenes in the same location for different parts of the script. So it just seems like super light lifting. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
You don't really have to design anything. Just bring some Daleks over, and which is fine. But it's really showing how it makes it seem like Doctor Who has no budget, so they're just doing what they can do. Well, in a way, again, harkening back to classic Who. Let's just show up with our cameras and our people in costumes.
That's why maybe it doesn't bother me.
Oh, okay, interesting.
What bothers me is, does this new series have any continuity at all? I thought all the Daleks got wiped out during Flux. What the fuck?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I fucking don't know. No.
Oh, I gave up.
No answer. It's like, why even bother? That's one of the things that drives me crazy with New Who is they constantly do that, just reset. Oh, we do this gigantic epic thing. Tune in next week. It never happened. Like, what the? Oh.
Well, now you're getting into an overarching Doctor Who philosophical thing that I used to war with personally, internally, but then I said, what's the point?
Serial mom.
Which is, whenever these big things happen in the show, and like, oh, all the Daleks are dead, or all the Cybermen are dead, there's this big cataclysmic event, whatever. And I go, okay, but it's a time travel show, as you know. So if you go to the 70s on Earth, aren't the Daleks always going to potentially exist, no matter what? Regardless of what happened in the Great War? You know what I mean? Like, they're still out there, right? It's not like the Great War happened and then they all disappeared from the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So how would they even know? They would just be there. And that's why it never made sense to me when it's like, all the Daleks have been destroyed or all the Cybermen are wiped out. But they're still there in the 70s.
When I'm old and I'm in the home and I have my Blu-rays with me, my project is going to be watch every single Dalek episode consecutively, starting from the Daleks, the Hartnell, all the way to Eve of the Daleks, or whatever's going to come after that. I suspect that the answer will not be forthcoming. There is no answer. That way lies madness.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of crap in there. The Chase. Anybody?
Oh man,
I've only listened to it. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh,
good evening.
That's one where you get like the Frankenstein or whatever in there at some point.
So dumb. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad. Yeah, and I started watching the Evil of the Daleks animated DVD. I haven't finished it yet. It's like 7 parts. I think I'm 4 parts in. Yeah, I was liking that one. I didn't like it as much as Powers so far, but I was liking it. I think I started watching that right before I watched Eve of the Daleks. And I was like, oh.
I think I was slightly embarrassed by Power. That's the one that came first. I mean, release. But because I saw it at the movies. And I brought my friend who's he's seen a tiny bit of Doctor Who, but by no means very much. And he's definitely not a fan in any way. And I'm like, hey, there's this it's been animated. It's been restored. Let's go check it out. And isn't it like a 6-parter or something like that?
Yeah, that is not. Ooh. Yeah.
And so we're watching it and I'm like fully engaged at the beginning. And then I keep going like, oh, I'm sure it's going to get better. Like, I'm sure it's going to pick up. Like, we got 5 more to go,
No.
And so, even I didn't really like it. And then I felt worse for my companion.
I feel like because I mean, all those episodes, they weren't designed to be watched in one sitting, those 6-parters especially. But for whatever reason, the really static animation of that one makes it even more kind of hard to sit through for that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was one of the last episodes we did for the TARDIS Tavern, and I had listened to it before on CD, and I really liked the story. But then I was so disappointed because I think you used the right term there, static. It's extremely static. I mean, you see the first 20 minutes of animation, you've seen it all. It's Daleks, and it's the Doctor and his companions talking in rooms. Oh, and there's a Dalek conveyor belt, or not a conveyor belt, but a factory. That's it. I just was so underwhelmed, and I felt bad because obviously somebody went through a lot of trouble to make these. And now, allegedly, BBC America is withdrawing from those projects, and they're allegedly not going to make anymore. But They will. I think somebody's going to come in and maybe BritBox or something, and we'll get Marco Polo.
You mean animated stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, even if they have to cheap out on the animation again, I mean, they were spending a little bit more recently, so maybe it just wasn't profitable enough. I know Galaxy 4 is going to be like $40 when it comes out, and I'm like, oh fuck, I got to spend $40 on that thing, but okay.
But the thing is, I will always buy those things, even if they're very poorly animated, just because I'd just rather have any animation. I'd even have, almost still pictures on disc, like proper release, rather than nothing at all, just to complete the set, so to speak. So, they can just do whatever, and I'm still going to buy.
Have you ever seen the telesnaps?
I've seen some here and there. But I still rather it be quote unquote an official release than like a fan made thing that I burn myself or something.
I'm happy with the CDs, those telesnaps. I mean, I appreciate they exist, but I can't sit through them anymore. I just won't. They're miserable to sit through.
Yeah, they are. They are indeed.
But I'm excited about The Abominable Snowman. That's always been a story that I've really, really enjoyed, so I can't wait to see the animation. Hopefully it's a little bit better than some of the ones we've gotten, but anyway, I guess we should probably get to Serial Mom now.
Yes, indeed.